What's up, guys? Jason Guyman here tonight. And tonight, I want to hit on something of how do we get to $100,000. And this could be pressure washing and Christmas lights. And if you just want to know how to get to the next zero, you pretty much do what you got to do here and keep moving forward. And so there is some different systems that you will have to put into place to hit higher than that. But I hear a lot of times that this is what I usually hear in the groups is Jason, you just can't do that no more. You're just trying to put too many people out here. Now, I am not guaranteeing you nothing, because if you don't put anything into action, then guess what? You are going to fail. And that's just part of how a business grows, right? If you sit there and mope around and be like, Jason, I can't get my business to grow because blah, blah, blah. When you start making excuses, that is when your very first time that you are going to fail. Excuses make nothing better. You know, I was going to show you another book here, but I kind of got a better book for people because I feel like a lot of times we love to make excuses. And the book I'm going to give you is, I got to remember what the name of it is. Now I can't think of what it is. Jocko's book. Now I got to look it up. I got it right there on the tip of my tongue. I can see it, but I can't get it out. What is Jocko's book? Jocko book. Sorry, I'm brain farting today. Extreme Ownership. If you haven't read Extreme Ownership, I highly recommend you to read this book. By far one of the great books, and where he talks about, you know, a lot of times it's always blaming somebody else's fault. And at the end of the day, the reason why you cannot grow your business is nobody else's fault. The only person it is you. So if you have not read Extreme Ownership, I'd highly tell you to go read Extreme Ownership. It is a great book. I have seen it several times, and it is definitely a book that you need to read. You know, a lot of times we will come up with excuses. We all have them. I have them. You have them. Everybody has them. And so it is definitely something that you got to overcome the excuses. I've heard excuses from Jason, you can't get that in my area, to Jason, those don't work in my area, to Jason, I just don't know what to do, right? And so and that might not be an excuse if you don't know what to do, but honestly, it is really about knowing how to grow a business. And again, I'm going to kind of talk through the parts of how to get us to six figures, right? How to get to $100,000. And again, if you want to get more than that, you just do what I'm telling you, 10x basically, and it's going to get you there. And so these are the things that as I go through this tonight, I want you to be able to not make excuses. So what I want to hear from you guys, are you going to listen and tell me excuses, or are you going to take action and make things happen? Put it in the comments. I want to see where you guys want to grow at. Because here's the thing. When we're doing this and we're being positive and we're talking about it and we do it and we write it down and we make it happen, these are the things that are going to set you apart from your competitors. I know, I understand that you sometimes don't believe this, but the more I learn about mindset and the more I learn about how that works, oh my gosh, it is freaking amazing what you can do if you have the right mindset. If you have a poor mindset, I promise you, you are going to struggle. It's going to be hard. It's not going to be easy. And even if you don't have a poor mindset, it still can be hard, and it's still not always easy. There's never an easy button in business. I will never say there's an easy button in business. I haven't started losing some of my hair up here because of business, right? It is stressful. You are going to have to deal with stress. And if you're like Jason, he's lost all his hair. He don't have no hair at all in his head. He's lost it all. But that's okay, because this is something that as you start growing a business, it is going to be stressful. It's never easy. When he first started, I'm glad he got on here. When he got his first 100,000, he stressed out a lot, right? He was worried about how he did his Facebook lives. And so he started in my group doing Facebook lives because that's what I told people to do. He was the only one that took action and made it happen. And guess what? he was able to get to $100,000. And so these are things that you have to start looking at and start focusing on to be able to get to our $100,000. So again, if you want to get more than that, we got to keep focusing, right? It's just a matter of how do we tweak things? How do we make things go better for ourselves so that way you can get to where you want to be at? And again, this does not matter if it is pressure washing or Christmas lights. So yes, I'm on both channels, and yes, it works for both. And some of the things that I will talk down a little bit about some certain things. I'll go down a little bit further in pressure washing, and some things I might hit a little bit further on Christmas lights because they do sell different. They do market a little bit different. And so I'm going to hit on both so that way you can keep growing your business. So with that, we got David Watts in the house. Time to learn and grow. We got Gino. What's happening? I booked 3 jobs this week. That's awesome. Mr. Matt Maycroft. What's up? Spit it out. I know I couldn't think of it, but Extreme Ownership. If you have not read Extreme Ownership, or it's been a while since you read Extreme Ownership, I would highly recommend you to read it again. That's another book that will help you get your mindset right and quit blaming other people, right? Because a lot of times we want to blame everybody else's fault. We want to blame the government. We want to blame who's in the White House. I promise you the person in the White House isn't going to make or break you in 2025. I promise you that. I've seen it over and over. I've been through some bad times of 2008, and I've seen the other people that started their business in 2008, and now they do multiple 7 figures, right? So you can't blame somebody else other than yourself of why you have not grown your business. There's nothing like the 3 a.m. sign game, right? Go out at 3 a.m. and get them bad boys up. Want to grow in every way possible to succeed. Remember, the harder it is, fewer the people are willing to do what it takes, because that is a great, exactly right. If it was easy, everyone would be doing it. And you know what? A lot of these groups, I see it all the time, right? I hear people say, you know, Jason, why do people get out of the group? I seen a post the other day. And here's the thing. There's just too many gurus. If you are worried about the gurus, you are not worried about your business. And when you're not worried about your business and you're worried about focused on some guru, then guess what? Your business is probably going to get left behind, because those are the same people that when I asked to come to trainings, or have they ever been to trainings, or will they go to a training, they're like, no, we know everything. And I'm going to tell you something. In 2025, things are going to change. The way you do marketing is going to change. The way you talk to customers may change, right? The way you've been doing it for 10 years doesn't mean it's going to work in 2025. And I see a lot of people get stuck in this mindset of, I know everything. I personally still don't know everything. I still learn about pressure washing. I still learn about Christmas lights. I still learn about marketing. I still learn about sales. I still learn about mindset, because I understand that it's not just about one of those things. Everybody loves to learn all about the pressure washing or all about the Christmas lights, but they forget the part of loving to learn about business and how to become a better business owner and how to become a better leader so that you can lead people to have jobs and be able to take care of those families, right? And these are all important things that you have to do, because it's one of the things that if you don't do it, it's definitely going to make your life rough. And basically what the question was is, why do people go out of business? You know, I see so many people always say that, man, you're teaching all these people. Well, what about all the people that didn't make it last year? You know, I hate to say it, but it's called the 80-20 rule. And the 80-20 rule works in about everything in life, right? Everything in business, everything everywhere. And this is what the 80-20 rule is. There's an old book about it, right? 20% of the people are going to do 80% of the work. 20% of the people are going to be successful, and 80% are going to fail. That's the 80-20 rule. And it works in business. It works in your life. It works in everything. And this is one of those things that you have to be able to understand and keep moving forward and quit worrying about everybody else. What's up, David Hamill? I know I'm already on fire here today. I don't know. I wasn't even planning on being on this much fire this morning, but tonight, but hey, whatever. Required reading for naval leadership. Reading for naval leadership. Thanks for sharing the GPT last week, and I am planning on doing more. I'm also going to be uploading a lot of these into my memberships, so that way I'm going to be uploading sales ones. I'm going to be uploading different GPTs all in the Christmas lights and pressure washing one. I have some of them in there now, but I am going to be adding a whole section on AI. I personally like AI. I use AI a lot. I know I get criticized from people on the line, and you know what I think about those people? Well, good for you. Again, you're worrying about me using AI, and guess what? I would say a lot of people online are using AI, and they just won't tell you they're using AI, right? Or you got also a lot of people that just ain't doing nothing online, and then they wonder why their business isn't growing online. So, yes, I use AI, and yes, I've learned a lot about AI, and yes, I keep learning more about AI. I'm starting to learn about automation and how we can put automation in different things and how we can use automation, how we can use automation for our phone systems. And there's just a lot of stuff out there that is really, really crazy when you think about it, that it's just 2025. And just to think in 2000, right? 2000, these things were barely, it was the old phone back then that couldn't do nothing, that you had to pay per minute, you had to pay per text, and it was crazy how this here has changed in the last 25 years, right? Some of these people in here are older, and it is crazy how you understand and what you can do in today's world versus what we could do in the past. So I will be sharing more GPTs. I'm going to try to focus them on Christmas lights and pressure washing, so that way you guys can use them in any way that I can help you guys use them or make them even better. And that is my goal for you guys. Learners are earners, right? And David Hamill has been in this business for a long time too. And he has seen people come in here and seen just as many people as I have seen come in and go out. And you know what? You can tell the ones that want to learn and grow versus the ones that want to be great at their pressure washing. We did almost $1 million over the past 5 years writing a book. Don't ask me. I'm still figuring it out. That's pretty crazy. Here's the thing. Some of you might not think this is a big feat, but this is a big feat. Just so you know, Jason Hefner has done over on, we did almost $1 million over the past 5 years. So think about that. That's $200,000 a year. And here's the thing about this with Jason Hefner, right? Jason Hefner is in the state that if you would listen to everybody and their brother, will tell you, you can't make money in Florida. I will tell you 100% of the times, I hear it all the time. You can't make money in Florida. There's just pressure washers everywhere. There's just signs out everywhere. You can't make money in Florida. And here's the thing. $1 million isn't a lot in 5 years. It is, but it isn't. Because here's the thing. He has another full-time job. The pressure washing, he only works on his days off at the firehouse. So he's a full-time firefighter, and then he works on the pressure washing side on his days off. But he don't work Saturday and Sunday, or very rarely, because if he works Saturday and Sunday, he's got to make enough money to take him and his family to Disney and spend the night over there. So this is something that you can see that $200,000 is what he's done in 5 years. And here's the thing. There's nothing special about Jason, right? Jason was trying to start a painting business when he started, and then he moved over to the pressure washing business. And so with this is how he's been able to change. He's been able to buy a nicer house put a big in-ground pool in. And so these are things that you can do by changing your mindset. Because here's the thing. When Jason started, he started with the same thing, right? He started what I had started teaching. And then he was like, Jason, you understand that you can't make money down here in Florida because there's $49 guys. And I said, that's right. There is $49 guys. You got to have someone to do cheap people's work because some people aren't going to pay the high prices, and that's fine. Those are not your customers, right? We don't want those customers. You can let those customers go somebody else because when they screw something up, do you think the $49 guy is going to come back and answer the phone? And the answer is no, they are not. Right? And so this is why you can't worry about your competitors and you got to focus on your own business, because every time you start worrying about your competitor, did you know you're actually helping them out? Did you know that? You might say, how's that, Jason? Well, when you start worrying about your competitors and then you click on their Google My Business, and then you start reading all their reviews, and then you click on their website, and then you start reading all their website, and they're copying stuff off of you, and they're doing stuff, and how dare they do that? And you've been on their website for 10 minutes, and Google's like, this is a really good website. I need to send more people here. So by you focusing and you worrying about your competitors, you're literally helping them out and hurting your own business because you're not focusing on your own business, right? And so that's why it is important that we don't worry about our freaking competitors. Aloha pressure washing business in Hawaii. That's awesome. AI is 100% of the future, whether you like it or not. Extreme ownership is required for Navy leadership. Gotcha. It is a great book. Jamie is in the house, my brother from a ghetto. All right. Well, I guess I better get started here. So, how can I help people get to $100,000, whether it's in pressure washing and Christmas lights? Because I've helped hundreds of other people already do it, right? I've helped hundreds of people. I've helped this guy right here, Liberty Power Wash. Is he my good friend now? Yes. Last year he did 250, 275 last year, right? 250, 275. And here's the thing. Is there anything special about DJ? Absolutely not. He barely got through high school. He was adopted when he was a kid. There's nothing special about him. If, in fact, you would think if you wanted to put something on him, nobody would be able to think he would be able to do it. But he did it, right? How did he do it? Well, he found the right people, and he started listening to me, even though he was my competitor in the very beginning. And he started taking action and making it happen, right? And started growing his business. And so this stuff here does work in what I'm going to teach you. But the biggest thing is you just got to go out there and get it done. Because if you don't, then guess what? Somebody else is going to. So that is definitely something that we have to think about when we're doing it. So what's the first thing that we need to start doing, right? How do we get the phone to ring? This is a tough one for a lot of people. And one of the ways you can do it is go out there and you got to start figuring out who is your target audience. A lot of people will tell me, Jason, everyone is my target audience. They got a dirty house. They need Christmas lights. Well, what if they don't believe in Christmas? They're not your customer. What if their house is nasty dirty and all their neighbors' houses are nasty dirty? Is that the subdivision I need to go into? Probably not, because those people don't care about their dirty houses, right? So who are my customers that need my work? And, you know, I have good friends from Dayton, Ohio. And so him and his girlfriend, now wife, were Matt and Destiny, and they were out and they started door knocking. Right? They started door knocking, and that's how they started their business, door knocking. They'd go down streets, and they would go for days sometimes and never get a lead. Now, did they quit? No, they kept going. And then they would go days that they would get 3 or 4 jobs. And then they'd go clean those 3 or 4 jobs and go do some more door knocking. And this was all for pressure washing. This was not for Christmas lights. They'd go do door knocking, right? Was there weeks that they never got a call? Yep, there was. But you know what? They kept doing it. You know, a lot of people in the marketing side of things will do something once or twice and wonder why it don't work. Well, what didn't work? Did you not hit enough reps? Did you not go to the right doors? Because here's the thing. Guess what? When I told them to don't go to the dirty neighborhoods, go to the clean neighborhoods. And guess what? People started answering. People started wanting it done. And that's how they started growing their business. Now, they don't do much door knocking anymore because they've gotten so busy, they haven't needed to do door knocking, right? They got their Google My Business up. They got their website up. They got their Facebook up. They got all of these other things started to get leads. They got their Google Local Services. They got all these things that are bringing in leads now that is growing their business. Right? And so this is some things that we have to think about when we are looking at why most people fail. Most people fail is because they don't do marketing, right? Improper marketing. They sit there and they market something that really is a thing instead of what people need, right? What are people's pain points? Why are they calling you? Are they calling you because of the house is dirty? Or are they calling you because the wife is nagging the husband? Or are they calling you because they have a party this weekend and they don't want a dirty house? Are they calling you because HOA sent them a letter? And here's one that's been hitting really hard this year for a lot of people. Are they calling you because the insurance company is going to cut their insurance if they don't get the roof cleaned, right? So yes, understanding what is the pain point. It isn't always a dirty house. In fact, I would say it's very rarely. It isn't the Christmas lights. It's not having Christmas lights on the house. It's about making them feel like when they were a little kid, that feeling inside, that heart emotional feeling of seeing those magical, beautiful, warm Christmas lights. Not, there's a bulb on the peak, right? When you sell that stuff, you're going to sell it a lot cheaper. But when you sell that warm, fuzzy feeling and you're able to get emotional with people about it and you find out that the emotion behind it is huge, then that's how you sell those Christmas lights. When you find out that the husband is wanting some stuff at nighttime, he's going to go get the house washed because the wife's been nagging him for months to get it done. And he knows that if he gets it done, he's going to get boo-boo that night. And he likes boo-boo, right? So these are things that you have to think about when we are selling this. And I get it. I can see it on people's websites a lot of time. They want to sell how great I am and how great my business is versus putting yourself in the customer's shoes and making it super easy on the customer. I had a conversation this week. Somebody said, Jason, you know what? It was too hard to do it that way. And I said, really? It was too hard for you to do it that way? I was like, what about the customers? Well, I don't know. I don't care about them. I'm like, do what? You don't care about the customers? You need to put yourself in the customer's shoes and be like, what do I need to do to make it easier? And here's the thing. If you don't know, then call other people. Start having businesses to come to your house and find out what makes it hard versus what makes it easy. If it's hard for you and it's hard for them, then guess what? Nobody's going to win at that point. And so these are things that we have to look at so we can see. So, what are the 3 platforms that I think work great for pressure washing? Let's start off those 2. Well, first one is your Google My Business. Now, Your Google My Business isn't going to get you money right away, but this is something that we need to start and we need to get going pretty quickly. Now, to start your Google My Business, there is some things that you need, right? You need to have some citations. What are citations? It's places on the internet that have your name, address, and phone number. And these can be YouTube. Yeah, did you know you can do YouTube videos and talk about the best pressure washing in Cincinnati and put the phone number and everything. And you can do the same thing with Christmas lights. It can be Twitter. It can be LinkedIn. And so we want all of these citations saying, hey, this is a legit business. Yes, you want a website. I know in the past I used to not worry about the website. But if you want your Google My Business to not get suspended, it will help you to have a website, right? And so, yes, this is stuff that is not going to make you money right off the get-go. Why? Because you got to start working on your reviews. You need to add 100 pictures. You need to add posts every week, right? And these are things that you have to be consistently doing to be able to keep growing your business. So that's the first thing, would be good old Google My Business. Now, the next thing, I would pretty much agree with those three things right here for pressure washing. Google My Business or Google Business Profile, signs, LSA, and 5-arounds. This here is a great start. And I know this don't sound like a lot, but this here will grow your business, right? The only thing else I would put on there is possibly a social media. Doing social media, right? You can do those things right here with social media. Maybe you could do these things without social media, and you could hit $100,000 your first year. Your first year. Now, how many times do we got to do our Google My Business? This is something we got to do every week. 2-3 times a week. How many signs do we got to do? We got to do 50 yard signs every week. Week after week after week after week. Because here's the thing. The yard signs, it's kind of like as you do it, it gets faster, right? Once you get the momentum going, it gets faster. So once you get your yard signs out, then that's going to help your Google My Business, because now you got pictures, and now you got pictures, and now you have, what am I trying to think? Reviews, right? And so that is definitely something that you can do. So, and then when you get more jobs off of yard signs, you go do 5-arounds. And if you're not busy, you do 10-arounds and you do 20-arounds, or you do neighborhood-arounds, because you're not busy. So you're going to get more jobs in that way. And if you really want to do a 5-around, you go knock on people's doors and you say, hello, yes. And you can do this in the beginning of the job. Hey, I just wanted to let you know that I'm going to be over here at the neighbor's house, pressure washing the house. I shouldn't be more than an hour or two, so I know it's going to be noisy. I just wanted to give you a heads up, right? Here, if you want any more information about the company or need anything, let me know. That simple. I am not trying to push hard. I'm just letting them know that, hey, I'm over here pressure washing your neighbor's house, and call them by name, so that way they know that you wash Miss Sue's house over here, and so they can't just let their house go. So just by doing these 3 things right here can get you to your $100,000 your first year. This right here. Now, for Christmas lights, I will agree with this, except 2 of them. Your Google My Business, yard signs, and this here, I would either say networking or Facebook or Google Ads. So you pick one of those at the end. But I've seen people get to $100,000 off of signs, getting your Google My Business, and all of those things right there, right? Those are things that can help you get there. So what is LSA? It's local service ads. Google local service ads. And I've heard they're getting ready to change it. I don't know what all they're going to be changing it. I know they have changed it. But I do know that they are changing it, and it sounds like it's going to take a little bit more work for these to work for you. But that's all right. That's what sets you apart from your competitors, that you're willing to do a little bit more work. And guess what? That will help you out. Let's see. What's that say? when I'm out doing in-person quotes, I carry signs with me and multitasking. Because here's the thing, if you're out doing in-person quotes, you should be doing 5 rounds when you're at those houses again. Because that way they get a door hanger when you're there the first time, and then they're going to get a door hanger 3 or 4 weeks later. So that's how you can start hammering out those door hangers, and helping out your business is by doing that. LSA isn't what it used to be. Let's see, what was that question? LSA isn't what it started. Even spend budget ROI is worth it. Yep. So these are things that we need to look at. So again, if we're going to do SEO, we're working on our Google Local, right? We're working on our Google My Business. This is huge. Your Google My Business is huge, and it goes along with your website. It goes along with your reviews. Location, right? If we're looking for pressure washing, we're hitting Cincinnati pressure washing, we're hitting Hebron pressure washing, we're hitting Loveland pressure washing, we're hitting all the key targets of pressure washing. So these are all things that we really want to do. And then we can target down, right? Who is our neighborhoods? If you've been in business for a year, you kind of know who your neighborhoods is. Go find their neighbors, because they need dirt, they need cleaning too. And that's what we want to do. Yes, Google Guarantee is LSA. Same thing. Google Guarantee is LSA. So here are some website things. I see websites all the time, and I cringe, right? If I can't tell what you do and where you do it within 5 seconds, it's probably more like 3 seconds, I'm going somewhere else. And if I can't find a phone number or something to get back to you, I'm going somewhere else. And same way with your customers. People are lazy in 2025. They don't want to try to find anything. That's why they use Siri and say, hey, Siri, find this. Hey, Siri, do this, right? They're doing that because they want to make it easy. You got to make it easy. If you don't make it easy, your competitor is, and guess what? He is going to get the job. Right? And so you got to have these elements above the fold. You need to have what you do and where you do it at. Those are the 2 important things. And how to get a hold of you. There's 3 things that I should see before I ever have to start scrolling. If I have to start scrolling to find any of those 3 things, the likelihood of you going to get your website converting is very, very low. Very low. These are must-haves. You got to make sure that you understand that you have what you do and where you do it at. Because a lot of times I'll see, and you don't know what you do, and you don't know, and here's the thing. With pressure washing, I see people, they'll be like, best house washing. Well, we're using industry terms. I understand your house washing page, but what about our pressure washing page? Because most people that are looking for house washing probably type in pressure washing. Right? They're typing in pressure washing. So these are definitely things that we got to make sure. Another thing, I've seen websites that they're not mobile friendly. If they're not mobile friendly, they're not going to show up. That's just the way it is, because now we're in a mobile friendly way that we have to go out there and do this. And here's the thing. This past year, and I can't take all the credit. I'm going to give credit where credit's due. David Hamill had posted on here that go find people houses that had businesses that have Christmas lights, and go knock on their neighbors and go find them. And here's the thing. I was talking to I got some exciting news coming up too with this person. So Eric Beck, I was talking to Eric Beck this week, and he's like, Jason, I listened to you and I took action on it. I was like, oh yeah, what's that? He's like, we started going around and looking at all the Christmas lights that were still up on businesses. And we went into those businesses and we knocked on their doors and said, hey, we see you got Christmas lights and you like Christmas lights. We offer Christmas lights. And he ended up closing 20 jobs for next year of someone already did those Christmas lights, but they didn't like what they did, or they didn't know, they were still up, and this was in February and they're still up. And so he was able to close almost 20 jobs. It was 20 jobs by doing this. He listened to what I had said, and I basically pulled it off of David Hamill because he had posted it on here once or twice, and I said it probably 3 or 4 times. It makes sense, right? And so guess what? That's what happens when you start listening to what I say and taking action. I know I talk a lot and I know I give a lot of information, but just take one or two things and go get good at it and go be great, and you will get to where you want to go at. These are all important things that we need to do to be able to get us to $100,000. Next, how do we price, right? I see so many people, they're cheap. They're never going to get there. Do tier pricing, good, better, best, premium, whatever. I don't care what you call it. You need to have 3 packages. If you don't have 3 packages, it ain't going to happen. You're not going to happen. I promise you, it's not going to happen. Because if you're offering a $500 house wash and they have $2,000 worth of stuff that needs to be cleaned, but all you offered was the $500 house wash, guess what? You're only going to make $500. But what if you would have went in and offered $2,500 worth of stuff and they said yes to it? And then now you got $2,500 to close, right? Versus a $500. I see this a lot. People not offering all of the things that you need. What value building are you doing? What language in your process is value driven, right? What is the value of you? Does anybody know what the value of you is? What is the value, right? These are all things that we need to be able to grow our pressure washing and our Christmas light business. It's one of the things that as we keep moving, right? How do we get better? How do we make sure that we closing clients? How do we make sure that you're getting the best of the best? And then how do you overcome objections? Have you already figured out the objections? I've listened to enough phone calls, and one of the objections are you're too high. And when people, I about cringe when I hear this objection, because I've heard before, okay, sorry about that, and hang up. What? No. See, that's where you need to start learning how to overcome objections. If you're getting 2 or 3 objections, how do you sell that objection before it ever gets there, right? How do we say, hey, we're going to go over A, B, and C to hit on these 3 objections? Or when they say it's too high, you just say, it's too high? And they're going to be like, oh, right? We're going to put it right back in their lap. Or we're going to say, hey, you know what? In our website, this is how much it's going to cost. It's, pressure washing costs this much. So then when they go researching, they're going to figure out that, oh, this isn't too high. I'm just too cheap, right? And so these are common objections that you have to go over. What are some other ones? I need to talk to my husband. Well, what if you said, hey, I do in-person quotes, and I need most, if one person is a decision maker, or does it take you and your husband to be a decision maker to make this happen? Well, I usually don't make a decision without him. Okay, well, when can I meet with both of you? Not, okay, I didn't even ask that question. I get there, and the wife says, well, I need to talk to my husband. Well, where's your husband at? Well, he's at work right now. Oh, can you call him? No, we can't call him at work. Okay, so you just wasted your time and trip because you didn't make sure that the decision maker needed to be there. So these are important things of how do you overcome these things without them ever coming up, right? And if they have objections, you haven't sold very well enough to make that overcome that objection, right? These are all things that we need to look at and make sure that we are hammering down here. So the most important thing that I feel is how you get to $100,000 is taking action. The guy that just gave me a thumbs down, he's taking action. He's probably not going to grow his business, I bet, unless he accidentally did it. But if he didn't, he'd probably like, Jason I can't believe what he says. And that's fine. Not everybody likes me. You know what? I love haters. You know why? Because I'm not just going with what everybody else says. Because I know what it takes to get to $1 million business. It's not easy. There's lots of stressful nights. There's lots of stressful days. We had trucks that blew up motors. We had trucks that got rolled over. We got trucks that, We went through pressure washers. We went through everything. And guess what? There's a lot of freaking headaches when you're talking about running a business and getting it to $1 million. I promise you, it is not easy. It takes a lot of stress and it's a lot of work. But you know what? You can do it. You can get to $100,000. You can get to $500,000. And you can do it. You can get to $5 million. Yes, you can get to $5 million running a pressure washing and a Christmas light business. Probably either one of them, to be honest. But is it easy? No, it's not easy. It's hard. It takes hard work. It takes discipline. It takes consistency. It takes all of that. Or you can be like the guy that wants to give me a thumbs down. And that's fine. I love it. You know why? Because that guy ain't going to take action. He's going to sit there and complain, like I said in the beginning, of, Jason, you just don't understand. I've got 57 things that I can tell you why I can't get there. And guess what? With that, don't forget to give this live a thumbs up. So again, I just want to help you guys. So I do have some exciting news. So, well, I've got good news and bad news. The bad news is this week's pressure washing class for in-person training is going to be my last one for this year. I'm not going to do another in-person training for King of Pressure Wash. I will be doing Christmas lights and permanent lights from here on out. Is my plan, pretty much one a month. But this will be my last pressure washing class for here. Now, so next weekend, I'm going to have a pressure washing class, and I'm going to have a permanent light class on Sunday. But this will be my last pressure washing class for the year. I've only had 2 this year. I had 2 last year, and I just moving more over to Christmas lights. And then what I will say about that is I have some exciting news for the Christmas light ones. Cincinnati, I'm going to have one in April. Cincinnati, I don't even know what the dates are. It is in April, and you don't want to miss it. So, and this is why you don't want to miss it. I am going to have someone special on there with me on Saturday. He's going to be helping me teach the one in April. It's not just going to be me. It's going to be somebody else. Now, this guy here that's going to teach did amazing job last year. So the guy that's going to help me teach, his name is Eric Beck. This is going to be April 11th through the 13th. It is going to be a packed weekend because I am going to condense my marketing into my pressure washing and Christmas light classes so that he can have all day Saturday. He did 386 jobs last year. Starting out, this was basically his second year. His first year, he did $40,000. This was his second year doing Christmas lights. He did over 386 Christmas light jobs, and they were about an average of $1,500. And this was his second year, basically his first year, really. And he did them all off of door knocking on doors. Now, you might say, what's so special about him? Well, he grew a security company business out of Colorado to a lot, and I 7 figures, right? And so he knows how to do door knocking. He's been door knocking for 25 years. And, you know, this was one of the things that I never really taught about door knocking. But here's the thing. You might not say it doesn't work in your area, but I know it works in different areas. And how do I know? Because I got another friend, Daniel, his brother in Florida, did door knocking, and he grew his Christmas light business over $100,000 his first year by door knocking, right? So you are going to learn how to get door knockers. You're going to learn how to train door knockers. You're going to learn how to do door knocking. You're going to learn how to overcome the conversation and how to talk to door knocking, and you're going to get to do the door knocking within the room, because I don't think we're going to have time to be able to go out. He wants to go out, but I don't think we can do it in a one day. So that is going to be April the 11th, 12th, and 13th. Now, if you wanted to do it for pressure washing, this does work for pressure washing also, because like I said, Matt and Destiny, they did a very good job at getting their business to $100,000 off of door knocking. So if you want to find out more about this class, it is the April class. It is in there for Cincinnati. It's actually in northern Kentucky. It's right next to the airport, so you don't have to fly very far, or you don't have to drive. You can actually, it's pretty close to the airport. Depending on how many people we get, we may have to move it to the one hotel that I normally do it at, because I can get 30 people in there. And so this will be limited to 30 people. We are not taking more than 30 people, because otherwise we will not get, it'll be too chaotic for us to be able to get everything that we need to do. So this is something that I'm excited about. I know it's the beginning of the season for pressure washing, but this can help you out in pressure washing. This will help you out in sales. That day, the Saturday I'm going to make my Christmas lights. So Saturday is or Friday is going to be Christmas lights. Sunday is going to be permanent lights, and I'm going to put my marketing stuff that I normally do in those two slots, so that way we can have all day on Saturday. And we might actually move it so that way nobody's teaching a whole bunch one day, so we can break it up a little bit. So you get a little bit of everything. We haven't came up with the master plan, but that's kind of what we're going to do. Again, do you want to grow your business, or do you want to sit on the sidelines and hope and pray that something's going to happen someday? Hoping and praying don't get you nowhere. As John Maxwell says, hope gets you zero. If you want to hope, you can hope all you want. But if you want to get somewhere, take the E off, and now we can hop. And hopping, we can get somewhere. But hoping ain't going to get you nowhere. I promise you. It ain't going to get you nowhere. And so this is something that I want to help you guys grow your business, and I want you all to be successful. I want you to hit $100,000. I want to hit you $1 million. You know, I've had some people in my mentorship hit $1 million this year. I'm going to have some more this year hit $1 million, right? Because they're taking action, making things happen, and growing their business. They're not sitting there going, man, I hope someday this is going to work. Hoping don't get you nowhere. You know what does? Getting your butt out there doing social media posts, getting your butt out there doing door knocking, getting your butt out there doing networking. And I don't know if you knew this, but those are all things that they're not going to happen just by hoping. You hope to get to that networking meeting isn't going to get you there. But if you get to that networking meeting, then guess what? You're going to start growing your business. You're going to meet people. You're going to find out people. These are all things that you can do by getting it done and going after it. Let's see. Question-wise, let me see here. I'm going to move back to this one, being that we're on both. I got to move up here. We keep it easy, especially when it comes to bidding. If you set the prices across the board, it's easy to train sales guys. We training a new sales girl tomorrow, teaching her bidding and closing the job. Yep. It's when you try to make it all fancy and everything else is when it gets a little chaotic, right? Google. Why is my thing being so stupid here? Well, I might be able to pull these up. Cody, if I was starting off in a high competitive area, I would niche down and be known as the guy for a specific service and then upsell and do packages from there. Yeah. Some of it could be doing roof cleaning. Some of it could be doing house washing, right? You just pick that niche and you go in and you go all in on it and you become the best at what you do. And guess what? That's where all of that awesome stuff can happen. Where do we find AI stuff? Your AI stuff. Well, last week I gave one away, and it was for a social media poster, and how to use it was a way to do a social media post. And I can see here what I do with the, I think it's christmaslights.io / I don't remember what let me go look it up here. Settings, phone numbers, domains, URL redirects. It was not that. It was ChristmasLights.io. I want to say it was, VP, Viral Post. I believe it is. I think that's what it is. ChristmasLights.io/VP is what the Viral Post maker is. You can go check it out and see what you find. Let me double check it to make sure that it is. Yes, VP for the Viral Post, and it'll take you to ChatGPT. You do not need the paid version of it. You can be on the free version and use that social media, and then you can always tell it a little bit different. It tells you it does everything for Christmas lights and permanent lights. So that's where I did it at. I do. Who? God will send you the boat. You just got to get on it, right? And he'll send it 2 or 3 times. You got to get on it every time. Do any other pressure washing companies not offer roof washing that are successful? Yes, I know people that don't offer roof washing. We almost turned roof washing down because we got tired of screwing up people's stuff. So, yeah. 600 yard signs just came in, put out 100 of them, got 2 calls the same day. I'm sure we'll get more on Monday. Let's go. Here in Hawaii, my computer's being dumb. For the guy that did thumbs down, we love it, drinking your haterism. And eat your popcorn and watch all of us win in life with Jason's help. Misery loves company, and I don't need your company, right? Exactly. You know your numbers to get to $100,000. How much per week, per day? Knowing that helps you price and reach your goals. This is true, right? Break it down. Break it down backwards. How much do I need per month? How much do I need per week? How much do I need per day? And if it's not that hard, right? Let's just say we're going to do easy math, 10 months. Now, I know some of you can't do 10 months. So if you got 10 months, that means you got to make 10 grand a month. Okay. That means you got to make $2,500 a week. Okay. That's not too terrible, right? $2,500 a week. Okay. Times that by 5. That means you got to make $500 a day. Now, how do I get to $500 a day? What do I need to do? $500 a day is one job, and you should be able to get to $500 a day. I don't know if I'm going to be able to read up any more of these comments. I'm going to have to just read these comments because every time I click on them, they're not coming up. I'm going to have to just read them. All right. What do you think about Google Guarantee? I like it. One thing of advice can give someone in steep roofs. I'm about to stop doing roof washes, lots and lots of moss and the PW and steep roofs. I mean, there is a lot of money up there because of it. So that is something. I would tell you to try to find if you do want to quit, try to find a company that's all they do and they don't want to do the house washing, right? Those are things that we can look at and do. Every house has a door and every person behind that door has needs and you are there to solve them, right? This week, this was our first week of good weather. Yes, it was. We hit 70 degrees. My 2 sales guys almost closed $44,000 of jobs. I loved writing them checks today for $4,400 this week's sales. I love writing checks, sales guys checks, right? And they probably loved it too, $44,000. So I'm telling you how to make $100,000 in a year, and David Hamill's doing $44,000 in a week. But that's how you get to a $1.5 million business, right? You got to hit $100,000 months. You got to hit $200,000 months. And so those are things that, yes, they are possible. I know a lot of you cannot believe it, but I was talking to one of my other guys I coach, and guess what? He's shooting for a $200,000 April. They're going to hit $100,000 March, right? And so, but this is how you get to over $1 million businesses. This is how you get to $1.5 million business. This is how you get to $2 million business. And you might say, Jason, there ain't no way in hell I could get to that. Well, I want to tell you something. Jeremy Main was a garbage man last year, or 4 years ago, 5 years ago. Literally driving a garbage truck and picking up garbage. He did it for 15, 16 years. And last year he hit $1 million business. He hit over $1 million. It is possible. It is possible. You know what he's done, though? He's changed the way he thinks. He has a different mindset. He don't have a garbage man mindset no more. He has a $2 million mindset, right? He has a $5 million mindset. He's opened up his vision, and he's let people talk into him that are positive, and he's paid money to go to these trainings to get positive talking into him instead of being around people that tell you you can't do it. You got to get away from those people. You will lose friends. I promise you, you have to change your circle. You know, there's the 5 people around you. If you tell me the 5 people around you, I will be able to tell you if you're going to have success or you're going to struggle. Because the 5 people around you, if you're at the top of the 5 people around you, you are going to struggle. Yes, you are going to lose friends. Yes, there's going to be people that tell you, Jason, you're too dumb to do that. And if you listen to that, that will be your thought in the back of your head, because you were probably taught that when you were a kid. You got to rewire the way your brain thinks. That's why I give you books to read, like this book right here. Listen to it over and over and over. Keep listening to it. Don't stop listening to it, because if you don't change the way you think and the way your brain thinks, then guess what? Every time it gets hard, you're going to hear that voice in the back of your head when your mom, when somebody said something to you, your teacher says that you're too dumb and you're not going to do nothing with your life, right? And so if you let those voices in the back of your head keep talking to you instead of rewiring it, making it think differently, when you wake up in the morning, you're like, this is an amazing day. I can't wait to make this happen. We're going to have an awesome day. The day is going to be beautiful. I'm going to go close sales, versus, man, I'm tired. You just screwed your whole day up because you're done thinking mentally and changing the way you're thinking. And guess what? The rest of your day is going to be negative, and you're going to be like, man, I'm tired. I need to go lay down. All you're going to think about is you didn't get no rest. And guess what? When you talk about other people, your brain doesn't know if you're talking about them or yourself. So quit talking negative about other people. Start talking positive about other people, because your brain can't tell if it's you or them. So these are things that if you want to grow and get to $100,000, you want to grow and get to $1 million, you got to change your mindset. And I understand that people don't believe that mindset has a lot to do with it, but I promise you mindset has everything with you growing your business. It ain't about how do we spray more water a different way. It's not about how do we put bulbs on peaks and peaks on bulbs and, you know, how the bulb is a C9 and blah, blah, blah. It ain't about that. It's about changing your mindset. How do you think about yourself? How do you think about others? What are you thinking about? Do you have a vision? Do you have a vision board? Do you have a vision video? I watched a video the other day, and she talks about how you got to make a video of what you want and look and watch it every day for 2 minutes. 2 minutes. Watch this video and put things that what you want to do. Maybe you want to move to a nicer house. Maybe you want a different type of car. Maybe you want a different type of business. And you got to watch it, because your brain will start figuring out how to get it done. But if all we do is listen to music, and it's crap music anyway, and it's talking about all this crap that you can't do, if you listen to country, you play it backwards, you get your wife back, your dog back, you get all this other crap back, right? Or if you're listening to rap and it's blah, 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 and it's just a bunch of noise, guess what? It's not going to help you out. I promise you, it is not going to help you out. So how do we change your mindset? I moved past the struggle of getting jobs. My new area of development is scaling to my capacity, hiring, training, and leadership. I had it easy as a husband and wife crew. What's with the California regulation? Is it worth to start a pressure washing business here? Well, yeah, you can, and there's money to be made there. I know from experience in washing, it's Google over Facebook for lights. Facebook for over Google. Well said. No training in Massillon, Connecticut. I know you want me to have training up there. You've been asking for like 5 years, but I'm not going to be up there this year, unless you want to have a class up there. I'm 51 and flat roofs kill me. So you do pressure washing most of the year and Christmas lights the rest of the year. Yes. So I teach both, but last year I've kind of focused more on Christmas lights. This year, like I say, I will still be on every Monday night or every Sunday night. I come on. I will talk about pressure washing. I will do lives about pressure washing, but I will probably more about marketing because marketing works for both. I know what struggles people are as marketing. I have a bunch of videos of pressure washing coming out this year. Last year, I didn't put out very many videos at all on pressure washing. I've got 2 rig builds this year that I'm going to be putting up on pressure washing. I'm planning on doing a couple jobs. You know, DJ's got a job coming up that's $15,000. That's probably going to take him a day to do. That's a commercial job. It's the same job that we did 2 years ago that he got paid $10,000 in one day to do a commercial building. And so we did the walls 2 years ago, and now he's going to do the roof for $15,000 of a roof cleaning job, right? I'm saying these numbers because I want you all to believe that it can be possible. Because a lot of you don't believe me when I say that you can do a roof for $10,000, $15,000, and it's a commercial building. That's why I tell you all to go after commercial. That's why I teach you all to how to go after commercial. Because commercial is where you can make a lot of large money. But how do you do it? By taking one bite at a time, right? That's what you got to do. Take one bite at a time. Do you anything about the professional color changing Christmas lights that are not permanent? Yeah, I've got them. They're right here. They're the color changing ones that you're talking about are garbage. They usually break and they're not very good unless they change them, but last year they sucked. These here, we got clips for them. You can put the clips on them and then you can change whatever you want to do with them. So these are pretty awesome. We got a whole bag of clips. They got different types of clips. But these are for the permanent lights, so that way they're not permanent. They're actually just temporary lights. They do look pretty well. They do look well with the, they almost look like a Christmas light. I'm going to try to, I've got some of the clips. I don't have enough to do across the gutter so I can show what they look like, but that's what I want to hit on. Do you know anything that is successful in the business other than roof cleaning? What is the best insurance for pressure washers in Florida? You're going to have to call around. Insurance is getting harder and harder for pressure washing and Christmas lights. People are screwing stuff up, and so people are getting canceled, and so you may have to call around. So that's something that you're going to have to look at. I'm about to, yeah. All right. Well, again, if you didn't know, I go live every Sunday and Wednesday night at 9 o'clock. I appreciate everyone that has showed up tonight. I'm struggling with being too nice. I always feel bad giving someone a $2,000 to $3,000, $4,000, $10,000 invoice. How do I get past this? This is a hard one. So this week, I had a brick mason come out. Some of you, if you follow me on my Facebook, I talked about this. I had a brick mason come out, and he's a young kid. He's 29 years old, and I know where he lives at. I know that it's not the best place. He grew up in a trailer, right? And so he was telling me he was using Word, and I gave him about a 30 to 45 minute coaching lesson after he gave me the bid. But here's the thing, because this is hard, because he said the same thing. I struggle with it. You got to remember that what is your time worth? And obviously you don't believe your time is worth $10,000 an hour. So if you don't believe that if your time is worth $10,000 an hour or $10,000 a day or whatever it is, then it's going to be real hard for you to understand and break that. Again, it's back to mindset, right? It really is. Everything is about mindset. And so Why do you feel bad about it? Do you not think that the time that you spent learning and growing and building a business and paying insurance and doing all of those things, that it's not worth $10,000? What you're thinking about is you're paying out of your own wallet. And people like you, I hate to say it, right? Let's think about it. Do you live in a $1 million house? Do you drive a $200,000 car? Does your wife have a $10,000 purse? So if you answer to no to all of those, then why are you worried about a $10,000? Because if I'm worried about a $2,000 quote, then one, I'm probably not in the right neighborhood. Because if that customer is a lot like me, I'm not in the right neighborhood, right? I'm in the wrong neighborhood. So just, you got to think about it as, here's the thing. This is back to why we're not selling pressure washing, why we're not selling Christmas lights. Because here's the thing. They value their time versus you value your money. They value their time. It's worth $10,000 for them so that they can go out and spend time with their kids because they value their time. And this is important. So why do they value their time? Because they've learned that their time is very important. Their time, and here's the other thing. For someone to have a $2,000, $3,000 bid, they're not making $100,000, right? For someone to have a $10,000 bid, they're not making $100,000. They're not. That's not going to be 10% of their cost, right? 10% of their wages. 10% of their wages is a lot of money when we look at it that way. But what about if we find the person that's making $200,000-$300,000? Well, now it's only 5% or 3% of their wages, and this is why they don't care about it as much. So that's the important part of why we can't worry about when we worry about it. Just send it. You know what I learned? This is what I learned. The job that you don't want and you want to just raise it to a high price are the jobs usually you get. And I'll tell you what I mean by that. And I know I'm over tonight, but I just want to hit on this. I remember doing deck cleaning, and I hated freaking deck cleaning. Not just deck cleaning. We did deck staining because we were slow in the summertime. And so when we were growing my business, I was trying to figure out what can I do in the summertime to keep my guys going. And I had a good friend, Mike, down in Lexington, and he did deck staining. And deck stainings sucked. I hated it. We started at $4 a foot. We moved it to $6 a foot. People kept buying. We moved it to $8 a foot. They kept buying. Finally, I'm like, you know what? I ain't doing deck staining no more. I'm going to put it at $12 a foot. And guess what? People were still buying it. And eventually I was like, I'm going to quit posting anything about deck staining because they keep buying this crap. And I'm going to take everything down that I have about deck staining because they keep buying it. And so guess what? It's we help husbands take back their weekends, right? That's what David Hamill just said. We help husbands take back their weekends, right? So that's exactly what they do. That's exactly what we do, and that's exactly why we do it. So that's why it is important that we can't worry about what our competitors or what we feel is going to be. When first starting a pressure washing business, where do I find seminars? I don't have the money to pay for them yet. Well, you're going to have to take risk or whatever you're going to need to do, right? So I've got a class coming up this weekend for pressure washing, but if you ain't got the money, send me a message. The only thing I can tell you. I might help you out a little bit. Do you only do online quotes? I did only do online quotes. Wait, Jason, Matthew Hefner, it took 5 years for him to hit $1 million, so $200,000 a year. Yeah, and he's part-time. He works a full-time fire at the firehouse, and that's how he's gotten there. Last year, the last 2 years, he's hit half of that, He's done over 250,000 in the last 2 years. He came close to 300,000 last year. Deck and fence stance. What do you put on here? Um, Deck and fence staining has changed my life. Booked 2 months out. My prices keep going up the further I'm booked. Absolutely. And I know you jumped on this, and this is something that you can jump on. I mean, if you're booked out 2 months, I would definitely be raising my prices because you're losing jobs at this wet point anyway. So the jobs you want to start raising your prices for sure. When do suggested getting insurance? I just started a job first this season. I mean, I would try to get it as soon as possible because it's just too risky not to do it soon as you can. I just want to hang out. I know you do. And you know what? I talked about this coming up. So this will be my last Christmas light or my last pressure washing in-person training for this year. So just so you know, but that's the great thing about it is that you get to, the networking is awesome, right? And even for this one here, when we get 20 to 30 awesome people in here for this training that's coming up in April, that's going to talk about door knocking and how to close more in door knocking and how to do more marketing. And here's the thing, even if you've already got a Christmas light business, then you might learn different systems to do it. Learn different ways of doing it. Maybe you want to do permanent lights. Maybe you don't. You don't have to stay for that class. You might lose out on some of the marketing, but I'll probably make the marketing in the morning for that day, and I'm probably going to make the marketing on the Christmas light day late, so that way if you do only want to hear my marketing, you can stay till Sunday morning, and then you can leave after that. So that's how I'm going to probably do it mostly, but that's why I'm doing it that way. So this class here, the awesome part about it is when we get to go out and eat dinner, hang out, talk, and learn about each other, and that's the best thing about it, what you can do. So, but again, if you didn't know, I go live every Sunday night and Wednesday night. If you want to know when I go live, you can text the word light to LITE to 855-619-5483. And this is whenever I go light on the Christmas light channel, I will text this out. And then if you want to know when I go live on the pressure washing channel, or I'm talking about marketing, it's text the word King, King, to 859-696-1101. I'm going to see Tim for some more training. But other than that, I hope you all have an amazing week. I know we're getting close to the sun's coming out and the grass is starting to turn green. It's an exciting time because we know that pressure washing is right around those corner. A lot of people always ask, when does pressure washing start? I say when you start seeing people mow grass every day, that's a good time that the pressure washing season starts full board at that point. Some of you already are getting started because you've done your marketing and all of that stuff, but it's definitely when you start getting the nice days where people can get out on their decks, they can walk around their house and be like, holy crap, this house is dirty. That is when you can get that going. So with that, hopefully you all have a great day or great night. Have a great week, and I'll see you on Wednesday night. Unless you want to see Monday Night Marketing, join King of Pressure Wash or ChristmasLights.io. And every Monday night I do more marketing. I'll go over I'm going to be going over a lot more AI into Marketing Mondays, and that's probably what I'm going to be putting into it. So that's what I've got planned for the next couple of weeks of how to set up your AI so that it knows all about all your business and set up some different things like that. So that's what I'm going to be doing these next few weeks. Tomorrow night, I'll be setting up how to set up so it knows everything about your business, how to put the website into it, all of that good stuff. And in the next weeks, we'll talk about how we can bring different agents into that chat so it can pull off of it for that. So that's what we will be talking about. If you're not a member, you need to be a member of either ChristmasLights.io or King of Pressure Wash, either which one. So that way you can do it. If you want to know which one's cheaper, King of Pressure Wash right now is cheaper. So And Monday Night Marketing is Monday Night Marketing. So even if you're into Christmas sites, this is probably the better one for you to go into, unless you need to know how to actually hang lights. So with that, hopefully you all have a awesome night and awesome week, and we'll see you all later.